Hello my beans, how is everyone doing? I hope you're doing well and welcome to a video that is a little different from what I'm used to doing here. We're just gonna chat today. It's gonna be very chatty, so if you don't like chatty videos, you probably won't like this one. This is just gonna be me talking about my most listened to music of 2021. A lot of people ask me for my Spotify Wrapped, but I use Last.fm. If you know Last.fm, cool. If you don't, it basically just tracks every single song you listen to throughout the year, and you can see like the exact times you listen to it and everything. So I just find those numbers to be more accurate, and you can see the exact number of plays you have on a song. So I just find Last.fm to be better than like Spotify Wrapped, for example. So I'm just gonna go through my most listened to artists, albums, and tracks of 2021, and I hope that you like it. So we're starting out with my most listened to albums of 2021. At number 10, we have Immunity by Clairo. This is kind of a weird place to start, I feel like, just because it is a sad album. And this has not overall been a sad year for me, but for some reason, Immunity is in my top 10. Now, honestly, I did go through a period at the beginning of the year where I listened to Alewife on repeat, which, you know, we don't have to talk about that. That album, I don't know, it just like means a lot to me. I think it's really pretty. It's got a lot of really beautiful songs on it, and I think Clairo is a really cool artist. So there you go, number 10. At number 9 on my most listened to albums of 2021 is the debut self-titled album from 5 Seconds of Summer. Yeah, I have 332 plays on this album, and it's just like wild. I started listening to 5 Seconds of Summer in August for some reference, and this was the first album I listened to. So it makes sense that it would be up here in a way, but also not, because I started listening to 5 Seconds of Summer in August. But yeah, at number 8 on the list, we have an album called Sounds Good Feels Good by 5 Seconds of Summer. I have 334 plays on this album. Can I see my most listened to on oh, I should tell you guys my most listened to song on each album. Sorry, this is already a little bit of a mess, but you know me. My top on Immunity was Alewife. Already knew that. My top on 5 Seconds of Summer, Amnesia. That makes sense. Why is it all depressing though? My top song on Sounds Good Feels Good, I already know what it is. The Girl Who Cried Wolf with 42 plays. Yeah, I'm obsessed with that song. It is my stan song for 5 Seconds of Summer. Number 7 is Ashland by Ash. I have that one right here. This is probably one of my favorite albums of 2021. It's just one that really stands out to me, and an album that I just like really adored all the songs, and it felt very unique and very fresh, and I really love Ash, and I just think this album is so beautiful. My most played on this album is Not Mad Anymore. I just think that like that drop in the chorus, or into the chorus on that song, so good. At number 6, we have an album called Young Blood by 5 Seconds of Summer. I fell so far down that rabbit hole, okay? Don't judge me. I had 393 plays on this album, and my most listened to song on this album is Valentine, which if you watch my reaction, that probably doesn't surprise you, because yes, not far behind that is More and If Walls Could Talk. That just makes so much sense. Okay, so at number 5, this is where it gets a little tricky. You could call this album my most listened to album of 2021 if you include the early part of the year when the singles were out and I listened to the singles on repeat. So if you want to call this my top album of 2021, feel free, because it kind of is, but it's also not, because I don't like to count all the time I just replayed the singles early in the year. You guys know what it is. It is Sour by Olivia Rodrigo. This album I had 441 plays on, and that does not include all the times I listened to Driver's License and Deja Vu before the album came out, which would again put this into first place. This was an album I just had on repeat when it came out. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't listened to it a ton since, but when it came out, it was on repeat. My most listened to song from this album, if you include before the album came out, would be Driver's License. If you don't, it is Traitor, which I know I'm a little bit basic, but Traitor, Favorite Crime, Enough For You are my top 3 from this album in terms of number of plays. At number 4 on my most played albums of 2021 is Life Support by Madison Beer. This is one that kind of shocked me. I wasn't gonna listen to this album because I listened to As She Pleases and I was like, not really vibing with this. So I was like, I don't think I'm gonna make a video on life support. And then people begged me and begged me and begged me, and I was like, you know what, I just gotta do it. just gonna do it. Let's just see what happens. And it is my 4th most listened to album of 2021 with 460 plays. I haven't listened to it as much recently because I was supposed to see her in concert in October. I got sick, I couldn't go. Now every time I listen to her music, I get really sad because I was supposed to see it and I didn't. So I haven't listened to it as much recently. But Life Support is a beautiful album that shocked me, that I did not expect at all for it to be what it was. I just think she's so talented. Her voice is gorgeous. Absolutely love her. What are my most listened to tracks on this album? Wow, okay. Number 1 is Baby. Number 2 is Sour Times. Number 3 is Good and Goodbye. Very interesting to me. Although Baby, I do love that song. It is so good. Number 3 in my most listened to albums of 2021 is Saling by Clairo. This album did come out this year and I do absolutely love everything about this album. I didn't expect to like it more than Immunity, but I ended up liking it more than Immunity. I also find it to be a great album to listen to while I read. Like, I love putting it on in the background while I read. So that's why I think it's so high up, because I would just put it on all the time while I was reading. In terms of most played tracks, I always play this album in order, so it's gonna be pretty much just in order of how the album goes, because some albums I can't listen to out of order. Sling is one of those albums, but that is my number 3. My 2nd most listened to album of 2021 is an album that came out last year called Punisher by Phoebe Bridgers. I got into Phoebe early this year and I really did fall in love with her. Both Punisher and Stranger in the Alps, love both those albums. Stranger in the Alps is number 15 actually for my most listened to albums this year. I don't know why a lot of my most listened to is so sad when I've actually had a very good year. I don't know. Although I will say my most listened to song on Punisher is Kyoto, which isn't as sad in terms of sound, and my 2nd is ICU. So I mean, it's not the saddest songs on the album, at least in the sound. My 3rd song is Moonsong though, so there's that. Alright guys, in my number 1 most listened to album of 2021, I feel like some of you have probably figured it out by now, but some of you are like, what is it? It is Evermore by Taylor Swift. This came out in December of 2020, so it does make a lot of sense that it is my most listened to album of 2021. When people ask me Folklore or Evermore, the reality is Folklore is my favorite Taylor Swift album. It is the most important album to me in terms of like what it did for me when it came out, how I was feeling when it came out, and just like the way I was able to connect to it, relate to it, feel comforted by it. Folklore is my favorite Taylor album, but I do feel like Evermore has more replay value. Like, I listen to Evermore more than I listen to Folklore, even though Folklore is my favorite album. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah, I had 600 even plays on Evermore by Taylor Swift. So that was my most listened to album, and those are my top 10. I wouldn't say they're my top 10 albums of 2021. Just because they're most listened to doesn't mean that this is the order that I would rank the albums this year. That would be an entirely different discussion and a very complicated one for me to figure out. And here, let me show you 11 through 50 just because I have access to that, but yeah, why not? 11 through 50 top albums of 2021. Most listened to, I should say, not top, but yeah, there you go, there they are. Take a look. Cool, cool. Next up, we are going to my most listened to artists of 2021. Yes, there will be some overlap, but there are also some new artists in here that weren't in my top albums. At number 10, we have Madison Beer. Again, Life Support, absolutely love it. Most of what I listened to when it came to Madison Beer was Life Support. I have recently heard some of the other songs, also of course Reckless I really love. So for the most part it was because of Life Support, but otherwise a few songs here and there. But again, I just think her voice is gorgeous. She's so damn talented. I don't understand how anyone cannot like her because I do think she's just beyond talented, like beyond talented. Number 9 is Marina. Love you, queen. You're over there and you're over here. None of Marina's albums made my top 10 most listened to, but I think it's because I like really listened to all of the albums except the first one. You guys know that. I really listened to all of those kind of equally. So at the end of the day, I listened to Marina a lot, just not one specific album in particular. Marina was like another artist for me where it was like really shocking. I did not expect to love her, and then I absolutely adored her. If I had to say what my favorite Marina album is, I'd probably say Electra Heart, which I know is kind of the basic answer. But again, like Fruit has some songs I adore, Love and Fear has songs I adore, Ancient Dreams has songs I adore. I like all of her albums except for the first one. Number 8 on my most listened to artist is BTS. You already know, I mean BTS. BTS, there's BTS there, there's BTS back there. I don't cover them as much on the channel anymore just because I've moved more towards albums and I am doing their discography, but I do listen to BTS a lot in my own time. I think a lot of people think that I don't. There was a time like when I was reacting to BTS, a lot of people were like, oh, you just do it for the views, like you don't actually like them. I mean, like I do, I absolutely adore them. I think they're so talented. BTS, I love my beans. That's where the beans started, by the way, was from BTS, my BTS reactions. That's where beans came from, so we owe respect to BTS and ARMY for the beans. Number 7 is Bon Iver, actually. Bon Iver is probably one of my most listened to artists of all time because, I'll be honest, I listen to Bon Iver a lot when I read. This is another one where it's like, Bon Iver is on in the background when I read like all the time. So I actually don't really listen to Bon Iver much outside of reading, and I've done a lot of reading this year, so that's why I think Bon Iver is so high up at number 7 most listened to artists this year, is because I listen to him when I read. That's just the reality. I love the music, and I love that you can't understand what he's saying because it just makes it good as background reading music. At number 6, we have a band that I discovered, I believe at the end of last year, called The Aces. I absolutely love them. I was supposed to see them in concert too and didn't go because of anxiety. I literally didn't go because my anxiety was so bad and I was going alone and I was like, I just can't do this today, so that really sucked. The Aces I discovered because of somebody on Patreon. Back when I did personal requests, somebody requested stuff from The Aces and I absolutely fell in love with them. Love their whole discography, think they're super cool. Just like if you've never listened to them, give them a shot because they're really fun and really cool. At number 5, we have Olivia Rodrigo. Olivia, of course, most of that does come from Sour, but also All I Want is a song that I love, and I did listen to her High School Musical stuff in particular in like July and August because I was preparing for my time with MTV. If you didn't know, I participated in an MTV game show earlier this year and I was representing the Livies, so I had to know everything there was to know about Olivia Rodrigo, which meant there was a lot of studying that I did. People are like, whoa, you know so much about Olivia, and I'm like, I did study, like I'm not gonna lie, like a lot of that I knew because I studied it, but yeah, no, Olivia, I also listened to her a lot right before the MTV thing because I was like, I need to know her music front to back, like perfectly. Not to say that I don't love her, but I think she wouldn't be this high if it weren't for the MTV thing, I'm not gonna lie. At number 4, and my most listened to artist of 2021 is Phoebe Bridgers. I discovered her this year, really. So between Punisher and Strange in the Alps, I listened to her a lot, like absolutely way too much, quite honestly. But I really love both of her albums and there's not much more I can say on that. I think, yeah, Punisher is one of the ones up front here. I have a lot of like my absolute favorites right up front. If you couldn't tell, if you kind of look, you can kind of see a lot of my most listened to are right here. So that makes a lot of sense. At number 3, we have Clairo. Like I said, I love both of her albums. Both her albums are in my top 10 most listened to of the year, so that just makes sense. And again, she is music I listen to in the background while I read, so that also contributes to the fact that she is so high up. Number 2 on this list. You know where this is about to go. I don't know if I should be embarrassed. I'm slightly embarrassed, but like I'm not, but it's ridiculous. This shouldn't be true. But my second most listened to artist of 2021 is 5 Seconds of Summer, who I discovered in mid-August. I love them so freaking much. For some context here too, they're not just number 2. I had 855 plays on Clairo. I have 1,523 plays on 5 Seconds of Summer. I don't know if that's healthy. I don't think it is healthy, but I'm also not mad about it. It has been the best experience of my life getting into 5 Seconds of Summer. I wish I'd done it sooner. I absolutely adore them, all of their music, all of them individually, them as a band, everything they do. I just, see, it's not healthy. It's not healthy, but like I'm upset. It's bad. And this of course leads to my number 1 most listened to artist of 2021, which you all already know who it's gonna be, and that is Taylor Swift. Of course, it always is. It never will change. It will always be Taylor Swift. I don't see that changing ever because I just listen to her most, though I will say this. I've been listening to Taylor Swift since January. I've been listening to 5 Seconds of Summer since August. Plays on 5 Seconds of Summer versus plays on Taylor Swift, very close. If I'd been listening to 5 Sauce since January, you might be 5 sauce, you know what I mean? So who really knows? Also, here's my list, 11 through 50 of the artists that I've listened to this year. If you're curious, if you want to see a little deeper into the artists that I listened to this year, there's 11 through 50. Take a look. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Very cool. Very exciting. So this brings us to the last portion of this video, which is my most listened to songs of 2021. I'll be honest, I find this to be the least interesting of the 3 categories just because it's mostly songs from the albums we talked about. Let's just go through it quickly because I don't think you guys care as much about this. At number 10, we have Butter by BTS. I know. At number 9, Till Forever Falls Apart by Ash and Finneas from Ashlyn. At number 8, we have I See You by Phoebe Bridgers from Punisher. Number 7, we have Champagne Problems by Taylor Swift from Evermore. It's kind of far away. Number 6, we have Good For You by Olivia Rodrigo from Sour. Number 5, actually this one's kind of interesting because it's one I wouldn't have expected myself. At number 5, we have Daydream by the Aces from Under the Influence, which is right there. I don't know if you can see it, but that is the album that song is from. At number 4, this one is higher than I would have expected, but it's probably because it came out right at the beginning of the year. Overdrive by Conan Gray, which is a single of his. It's not even my favorite song of his, like at all. People Watching is my favorite song of his right now, but Overdrive is my 4th most listened to song of the year, which is kind of bizarre. Number 3, we've got Deja Vu by Olivia Rodrigo from Sour. Number 2, we have Driver's License by Olivia Rodrigo from Sour. And number 1, we have Kyoto by Phoebe Bridgers from Punisher. So those are my top 10 most listened to songs of the year. Here's 11 through 50. If you're interested in seeing what other songs I listen to, there you go. There you have it. Those are 11 through 50. Very exciting, very interesting, woohoo. So that is my most listened to music of 2021. I hope this video wasn't too boring. If it was, I'm sorry. Feel free to ask me questions about what I listened to this year in the comments, and I'll try to respond to some people because this is just the numbers. This is literally just the numbers, like exactly how many times I've listened to everything, which I do find really cool. I love looking at like statistics and data like this. I think it's, I don't know, maybe that's what, I just think it's cool. I just think it's cool, I'm sorry. But yeah, feel free to ask me questions in the comments below. Also, let me know your most listened to music of 2021. Do we have any similarities, any differences? I mean, I'm sure we have differences, but do we have any similarities? Let me know in the comments. Thank you guys so much for being here, for watching this. I appreciate you. I love you guys, and I cannot say that enough as we're coming to the end of what has been the most exciting and eventful year of my life. So much of what I've been able to do this year is thanks to the support you guys have given me, and I'm not gonna talk about it too much because I will get emotional. Shocking, I know. But without you guys, like, I wouldn't be able to do any of the stuff that I get to do. And I feel like I'm so lucky and so blessed and so damn grateful to all of you for allowing me to literally live my dream. Like, I don't know why me, like, I don't understand it, but I'm so appreciative. So thank you guys so much for literally everything. I love you, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.